Yes, people, big up. Welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. We're here for a live show tonight to talk about Tottenham in the FA Cup, our reaction to that one. Of course, Villa beating West Ham on Friday night on the 150-year anniversary game. And we put ourselves to the next round of the FA Cup in delightful terms and fashions because really it's been a while since Villa have been in the fourth round draw, so we can celebrate that. We're going to be looking at the Donyell Malen situation and what's the latest with him because, of course, again, transfers are hotting up on that behalf. And finally, is there a twist in the Oscar Mingueza situation? Apparently now there's a rumor coming out that we aren't going to trigger his clause, and we're going to look into that one. So big up everyone who's in here. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you say hello, all that good stuff. We absolutely love it. And we're going to get into the show. And if you are watching on replay, then of course, do feel free to comment as well in the comments afterwards. But yeah, let's get into it. Look, Tottenham, how are we all feeling about drawing Spurs in the FA Cup? I think it's a hit and miss one for me because obviously getting through the voodoo of the first round, the third round, sorry, which we haven't done for so long, I was almost like, right, give us an easy pathway, give us something now that we can look forward to, give us something to get our teeth into. We've got a home tie. We've got a home tie, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. I think that's exactly what we need. And I would love us to keep getting the home draw in this competition. But I think, second of all, I think Spurs is a team that I would like to get my teeth into again and have a real go at Spurs. I'm still fuming at the last result, and we'll have a look at that one in a second, how that game, and remember how that game unfolded. But I think it is the perfect time to lock down Spurs. So we will have a look at the draw as well overall. But big up to everyone. Do say hello in the chat who's in here tonight. It's been a while since we've done a live stream chat, so let's hype it up. Big up to Goatser, of course. Hello, Goatser, who's been a member for 14 months. Unbelievable scenes. And drop me a message on either the Telegram or the Instagram so I can link you up with your prize for winning the members competition. Big up to you. Big up to Daniel Bate in the house. He said, hi, Josh, at the bloody Villa. Up the bloody Villa. Up the bloody Villa. Daniel Bate, hope you're all well. Big up to Meeks is in the house. He says, first like. Hey, Josh, hi, big up to Meeks. Make sure you smash the like button as well, like Meekin. Big up to the Global Pilot, Aston Villa, and Stringy as well. Look, I want to get into this FA Cup draw because I think as well, it is honestly a great way in which Aston Villa have been presenting this draw. There are quite a few, chat. There are quite a few Premier League encounters that we need to have a look at. And this is why I'm starting to sort of pave my way, should I say, in this FA Cup draw. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger for everyone to see. I'm almost trying to plan dangerously Aston Villa's route to the FA Cup final already, dare I say it. So look, Manchester United draw Leicester City. So United, essentially, I don't know if anyone caught that Arsenal game today. Fantastic game, fantastic sort of Premier League FA Cup tie is what I want to say about that. I thought those two went toe-to-toe together nicely. Man United come out on top in penalties, and they draw another Premier League team. So that's a guaranteed Premier League team sort of taken out of the equation. Big up as well, Global Pilot is first watch this evening. Big up to you. Up the Villas in the house as well. Crease Reds was hoping the Blue Noses would have been good. Big up to Mum as well. I agree on Arteta there, Fraser. I think Arteta's season is done and dusted. But then if you go down again, there's another. If you look at the number 3 tie, Brighton versus Chelsea. So all of a sudden, that's 2 Premier League teams guaranteed to be knocked out in this competition because we've got Chelsea versus Brighton, Man U versus Leicester City. Again, brilliant. Another one. There was another one down here as well. Everton versus AFC Bournemouth, which again, all Premier League clash. So that's 3 teams. And then with Villa and Spurs, we're looking at a lot of Premier League clashes. 4 Premier League clashes in total, 4 lots of all Premier League fixtures going against each other in round 4 is pretty tasty. Of course, Manchester City get a nice little away draw, don't they? Leyton Orient or Derby County. Of course, don't rule out Southampton versus Burnley, bottom of the Premier League, top of the Championship. So they pretty much a match. But yeah, Liverpool and Man City get lovely, beautiful draws in the FA Cup, and we face Spurs. So yeah, genuinely right now, Man, you barely qualify as a Premier League team these days. It's true, Meeks. How do we all feel? Like, obviously, there could have been easier draws. There could have been, the Blue Noses, which, by the way, Newcastle got. You could have had a Championship outfit in, a Stoke, a Cardiff. etc., as they draw each other. But yeah, looking at the ties in general, I mean, Forest getting a nice, the top three sort of Premier League, not Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Man City, Liverpool, they all got nice away draws, is what I'd say on that. I would love, as I said, I would love Brighton to do a job on Chelsea in the FA Cup as well. I think that would be really interesting. So that lies the question then, exactly this. And just to confirm, that game, by the way, or those ties are going to be on the weekend of the 8th of February. And I'll tell you why that's important in a minute as well, because we need to look at how Unai Emery is going to rotate the Villa side. Because, as I said, 8th of February is that weekend we're going to be aiming for. And I'll have a look at how this pans out in a second. I'm just going to share it on the screen now. So the 8th of February is where it's going to land on. And if you go to here, sorry, just sharing the right screen, he says, there we go. You will see that the 8th of February lands interesting. We basically have Celtic Champions League, which is fun, but then we have Wolves Premier League, Spurs FA Cup, Ipswich at home. Now. I do not want to disrespect Ipswich, because you've got to realise that they held us at Portman Road to a 2-2 draw. We weren't great, but Ipswich held us to a 2-2 draw. But Wolves and Ipswich, technically your relegation sides, either side of an FA Cup draw, I believe there is no need to rotate. I believe there is no need to rotate against Tottenham in the FA Cup. I want to see us go full strength in the FA Cup and then put a good enough team out against Ipswich in the Premier League. I don't know how you guys feel about that as well. But essentially for me, there is no reason whatsoever for Villa to have to rotate in that FA Cup draw. I want us to go full strength, lock in, best team up against Spurs, and let's go from there. So I don't know if you guys agree or not, and am I being too disrespectful to Ipswich? But I think that Arsenal today showed the reason why you should never rotate too heavily. I think Arsenal showed that actually tinkering too much can really impact your rhythm. And I know that obviously Robin Olsen is probably going to play in goal. I've got no qualms about it. But do you know what would be a massive statement? If Emi Martinez plays in that FA Cup game against Spurs. It really would be a big statement for me. So look, Wolves and Ipswich, either side of that in the FA Cup, you've got to say there is no need to rotate now in that FA Cup. I think we go to Wolves on a 5:30. We're going to absolutely smash Wolves at the Molineux. We're going to go we go put it past them. We play Spurs, full strength teams, basically the same team that plays Wolves. And then whoever plays Ipswich, we could still probably, again, put the same similar team out. No need for rotation, Unai, is all I'm going to say. But big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and do lock in. Big up to Brum Pilgrim. He said, I love it if we beat them. It's good that we've had a hard home draw. I absolutely think, the FA Cup draw for me, Spurs, it's great it's at home, and I'm more confident now that it's at home. Fred's bought a dart set, the new Luke Littler. Does anyone know how much of Park Moreno's played in Nottingham Forest season? I don't think much. I think Aina starts at left back. By the way, big up Super Chat coming in the house. Big up. Here she is. She's one of our own, Gracie Lynn, all the way from the US of A, or maybe Costa Rica, wherever she's based. I think it's Costa Rica these days. Probably our only Costa Rica subscriber, viewer. Big up to Gracie. Thank you for the Super Chat. It means a lot. Appreciate it. Big up to Super Matt Taylor, who's in the house. Big up to you. And Daniel says he does not fear Spurs at all. And big up to another Villa podcast. Gig Sharma says, got to take the cup seriously. We should have the squad by end to compete in the cups. And that's where the transfer market is absolutely key. I agree on that. I absolutely have to echo those words. And listen, it's massive for me in terms of Spurs because of this result here. And someone's just brought it up in the chat. And don't worry, I've got my tab ready because this is why I want a bit of revenge on Spurs. This game here. Who remembers this game? As Tom's K said, you should fear Spurs as lost 4-1 this season, 4-0 at Villa Park last season. Absolutely. Exactly that. We owe them. It's as simple as that. We owe them. There is no doubt in my mind we owe Spurs a bit of a thumping. Now, this Spurs team, look, let's not beat around the bush. This is one of the dustiest, worst Spurs teams that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah? And I'll come back to this game in a minute. But if we want a real talk on Spurs, the most inconsistent, dustiest, spineless, crying about injuries team I've ever seen in my life. And look, you drew near now of Tamworth, and it took you to bring all the big guns on to finish them off. There's something seriously, fundamentally wrong with that Spurs team. I watched them in the Premier League, and they're all over the place. In the Premier League, they're up and down, they're inconsistent. Tottenham, I think, it's a great draw to have, especially because it's at home. So if you go to the last game where we played them, 3rd of November, so that was a couple of months ago. Look, we lost 4-1. Brennan Johnson, Solanke, and then Maddison. And they took the piss, really. And the thing is, Morgan Rogers gave us that lead. And can you remember the second half capitulation? The second half capitulation we had against these lot was unbelievable. And I actually thought, when we went 1-0 up, we should have really held on. We should have really been... I think Ollie Watkins had a chance that he missed to take us 2-0. And after that, it was a horrible game. And Spurs really gave it the large one against us then. Spurs really, really gave it a large one. And apologies, I've just realised I haven't put a charger in. 1 second. This is poor organisation. He says, worryingly, cannot find his charger. That's why I haven't put the charger in. People, let's not panic, but I cannot find my charger. Where is my laptop charger? Think. Where would my laptop charger be? Where would my laptop charger be? Think. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Here it is. Oh, wow. That was a proper man's look there. It was actually in the cupboard where I had it. Apologies, not the most professional thing here, putting my laptop on charge. But hey, we all do things. We all do things nuts. And I've got it now. I'm just untangling it. That was a proper poor look there. Not the entertainment you could imagine. There we go. But we're in, we're set. Pretend that never happened. We're all set with the charge. Let's not panic. As I said, you can't plan for these things to go wrong on live. We are going to talk about Donyell Malen in a minute. But Super Matty said, did think at one point during the draw we were going to get a certain team that play in blue. It was close. I think the more you sort of hope for that draw in the early rounds, it never comes. You know what? Newcastle, they're a good team. I wonder if Eddie Howe's got the squad depth to rotate as well, by the way, in the depth and manner that he wants to, or is he going to have to? Is he going to have to play a full strength team? Because that will be interesting against those Blue Noses. But look, overall, in the chat, let me know right now your honest thoughts and feelings. Do you think, number one, actually, let's ask that, and of course in the comments, number one, do you think Unai Emery will take this game full strength? Yes or no in the chat. Yes or no in the chat. Do you think Unai Emery will play a full strength side? And I'm even going to say to that point, do you think we will see Olsen or Emi Martinez? I would absolutely buzz. I will absolutely buzz if Emi Martinez is in goal against Spurs. I think that would be a massive statement. I think that would be a massive statement if Emi plays. Because look, I've watched Manchester United's reserve goalkeeper today. Yes, he saved the penalty. Yes, he had a good second half. But I'm telling you, the pressure from corners and crosses, he was awful today. I've watched Robin Olsen play Mr. Flappy Bird from corners all year long. Robin Olsen, honestly, the man does not have the presence that Emi does when it comes to claiming crosses and corners. And I just think the goalkeeper, whoever you play behind you, and you may all disagree in the chat, but some of you who are playing goal, Super Matty Taylor, goalkeeper sets the tone of how good your team's going to be. If you know you've got the best goalkeeper behind you, if you know you've got the world's number one, if you know you've got your best option in net, confidence goes up. You trust them. I don't think Olsen will be there. Oh, wow. Joe Gauchi, do you reckon? It'll be a bit of Gauchi time? But I'd love to see Emi play. Gracie said no. Super Matty said no. Olsen will start and not full strength, says it's Tom K. But Paul reckons he will play. Look, goalkeeper situation for me, if Olsen did go and Gauchi went, it almost would force Emi Martinez to play. I think Emi has to play in the FA Cup game, and that builds the rest of the team. Look, the other one we've got to remember is John Duran will obviously be around, and interesting to see what his plans are and Unai's plans with John Duran. But yeah, people, it's an FA Cup tie that I'm actually really excited about. It falls quite nicely between two Premier League games, Wolves and Ipswich. I think it's worked out well for us. Let's go beat Spurs. Let's give them another trophy this year, and let's get that ball rolling. Get into the fifth round FA Cup. And I'm actually a believer that if Villa get into this fifth round, I'm going to make a big claim here. I reckon we get to the final. I reckon if we get past Spurs, I can see us getting to the final. Don't know why. Don't know what's in my gut saying that. Don't know if it's just blind optimism or if it's just the Villa way or if the Unai seems to actually now be mastering his cups. But I feel this vibe that if we beat Spurs, we get to the final. That's how I feel. So yeah, big up to everyone. By the way, before I go on, please can you make sure you're smashing up the likes on this video? I really do appreciate it. And of course, as well, please keep interacting in the chat. I absolutely love it. So this is the latest news on Donyell Malen. Look, this is where we're at with Mr. Donyell. He apparently is holding firm. So Borussia Dortmund are holding. Now, again, I will go to the transfer source in a second because that's what we like to do. We like to show the credibility. But it says Borussia Dortmund are holding firm on a minimum transfer fee of 25 million for Donyell Malen. Aston Villa increased their offer over the weekend, and the two clubs are now not far apart. However, no agreement has been reached yet. So Villa are trying to haggle. Villa are trying to get the deal. Villa are trying to get the, every penny's worth. But it seems that Dortmund are holding on to that 25 mil sum. Now, if you put in an offer and you've tried to have a negotiation over the weekend, I actually think that basically, again, this one's going to be signed, sealed, delivers. I think Oscar Mingueza and Donyell Malen will be done this week and hopefully before the Arsenal game. So I think Donyell himself, from what I'm reading, wants to come. I think it's now about Dortmund agreeing. I don't think this one's on the player. I think it's on the club. Spurs are officially a cup team now. They weren't in the cups, but agree if we win, there's no looking back. Exactly that attitude, Super Matty. In terms of sources, then on Donyell Malen one. So the first one is Build, who again I think I've referenced these before. They're a Dutch, 2 million followers, by the way, which gives you some sort of scope because these it's not Dutch, sorry, it's German. Look, independent journalists are the way forward. And I do agree on that. I think Fabrizio Romano, of course, has sort of kicked off the sort of trend of that away from these mainstream media sort of sources because people trust them a bit more. But it says here you get news from Germany and the world, and it's 2 million, big German sort of independent build company. So that's the source there. They've reported it. And it's also come from via Air Ari. BVB, big Borussia Dortmund, mostly Borussia Dortmund, a little bit of a smaller source. So look, whether he's as reliable, it's there to be seen. But basically, the Donyell Malen rumours as such are very much ticking over. I think again, from my understanding, we just need to match their price, and I think Donyell will be on his way. So, what do we think of Donyell Malen? And again, I'm going to be really sort of honest here. In terms of my approach about this. Look, Donyell Malen for me will be an upgrade on Leon Bailey. There's no doubt about that. Donyell Malen will be an upgrade on Leon Bailey, especially how Leon Bailey's been performing. And look, we all thought Leon Bailey, that goal against Leicester City, it did give him a world of confidence. We even saw after that goal for the next 10, 15 minutes, he elevated himself. But let's be real here. Leon Bailey got locked in on by a 19-year-old left back for West Ham. Didn't ever look like beating his man and spent more time playing ice skating. Leon Bailey was all over the place against West Ham in the FA Cup. And you just think, what's it going to take for this man to get some run of form together? What's it going to take for this man to sort of, just come together and, really, really put in that performances from last season? That's what I'm sort of saying about Bailey. But nevertheless, Malen is a Dutch international striker, played in European competitions. He's played in the Champions League. He's got an eye for playing either side of the flank. Not a pacey player, and he's got an eye for goal. And look, if his numbers are going to return better than Leon Bailey, then let's have it. Is he adding more squad depth? 100%. A better option than Jaden Philogene. But there's just something, I don't know if you guys feel, there's just something for me about Donyell Malen that isn't quite the boom signing. It's a bit like, I'll take it, I'm happy with it, but I want the boom. I want the boom signing. And they come in the summer for me. January, 25 million for Donyell Malen. I actually think you've got to shake your hand for that and say, we'll take that. Just because it's hard to get players in January. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see with that. Supermates, I just hope they get the match day price right. Don't rip us season tickets holders off again. Exactly that. Chuck will make a no chance. But yeah, look, Leeds could be getting Buendia on loan. I'll come to Emi Buendia in a second, actually. I might address him. But yeah, enjoy work, Supermatic. And yeah, that's what we're talking about now, Gary. Just shared that article that Dortmund want 25 million euros. They're not budging. They're going to hold on that. But I would say this, really. Emi Buendia, for me, is right now a better option than Leon Bailey. And that's no banter. That's no joke. That's me not exaggerating. Leon, I would actually rather see Emi Buendia. I actually loved how Villa finished the game against West Ham with Jacob Ramsey, Morgan Rogers, Emi Buendia, Ollie Watkins. I think that actually looked really good. And if Unai Emery decided to use that against Everton, I would have no qualms whatsoever. I'd love to see that team right now. I think Emi Buendia's passion, I think his ability on the ball, sometimes we forget about it. And Brenda, if you know, you know, Meakin. If you know Brenda, that's because you're in the bloody Big Up plan. And if you don't know Brenda, that's because you're not in Big Up and you need to be joining. But yeah, in all seriousness, Buendia, for me, I would not be adverse to him starting against Everton. I actually think he's ready. I actually think he's chomping, he's ready, and he would love to have a go on it. So I'm all game for it. I'm absolutely game for him coming over and being part of, starting. He's a much better option than Leon Bailey. I'm telling you now. His impact has been brilliant. But yeah, look, if our transfer window ends up only being Oscar Mingueza and Donyell Malen, then fair enough. I do think we've got one more up our sleeve. I feel like Villa have got one more little wild card up their sleeve that they're going to throw at us. A one that has been really quiet, out of the blue, an attacker. Just got that feeling. I mean, I would love to know if we've had conversations with Dougie Luiz as well. I'd love to know if there's been any sort of, Dougie, what's happening? You coming or not? I would love to know if there's been any inside info on Douglas Luiz, people. But it seems that other clubs may have a bit more pulling power than us on him. So yeah. But yeah, in terms of Oscar Mingueza, then, just another story was posted today about Oscar Mingueza. Yesterday, I said that basically we were going to activate this, and this is the joy of the transfer window, right? Because this story has popped up today, and absolutely is time for FA Cup glory, Stephen. Look, I will be honest as well, Gary. The January transfer window is not the one, pal. It's not the one. No other club has made any big hasty signings, but I do think we're going to get 2 players in. So yesterday I reported on the video, hopefully you guys all saw that video, that Aston Villa are not willing to pay the 20 million release clause for Oscar Mingueza. The club has not begun negotiations. So this is contrary to the reports yesterday that we were. And this is why just love the transfer window, because it's all full of rumours. No one knows who's right. We're clearly in for this player. We clearly want this player. The idea in question is, are we actually seriously going to do it? Now, the source. Let's go to the source. The source is Alfredo Martinez, who, by the way, oh, wow, it won't actually, it usually lets you translate this bit. So I'm going to have to quickly copy and paste this in Spanish. Let me just quickly copy and paste this. Spanish to English. Usually it lets you translate. On there. Sports journalist, soccer narrator on Onda Cero Radio, national award from the Radio Academy. So there we go. He's a sports journalist and a soccer narrator for a radio. So he's a journo / radio presenter. 321k followers. So pretty high on that. And yeah, clearly. There he is. You can see the man now. He's commentating on the Super Cup final in Saudi Arabia. That's a very passionate guy. But this guy is telling us basically, then Alfredo is basically telling us, no, it's deal off. We're not actually going to be in, and we're not willing to pay the 20 million release clause. Now, what do you reckon? What do you reckon to that? Is this a poor piece of news? Is this a poor piece of journalism? Is it guesswork? Or are we actually going to be able to get Oscar Mingueza over the line? I think 20 million. Look, Villa look like they're going to be spending around 50 million this transfer window, which is massive in January. But yeah, I think we're all sat here itching for us to get a piece of business done in the two positions that we're crying out for: a right-sided defender, a right back, or a winger. But yeah, I think that right back is definitely going to happen. And if we don't get Oscar Mingueza, we've already been linked to Wesley Franca. We've got other right backs, I'm sure, that we've been scouting. Someone told me about Max Aarons, and I know he's just had a transfer. But the other one that is propping up, chat, and here's one I want to throw out to you, is Kyle Walker-Peters. I saw Brighton were linked to him. What do you think of Kyle Walker-Peters of Southampton? Look like they're going to go down. But would you say Kyle Walker-Peters is a good asset, a good option for us as a potential? I saw that and I thought, do you know what, I'd take him at Villa. So there we go. But yeah, Meeks has made a really good point here. Didn't we sign both Duran and Rodgers in January? If so, then I said January is probably the one for us. Well, when you look at it like that, I like your thinking, bro. I like your thinking, because it is exactly that we absolutely can get some good bargains, good ones for the future done. But as I said, I think what I'm expecting to see in this window is one goalkeeper to go out on loan. I'm expecting Diego Carlos to go if we sign Mingueza or another one. Philogene, we know. I do wonder, and I have thought about this, I do wonder what will happen with Emi Buendia, if we will keep him as part of the squad or if we'll loan him out. Don't see the point in loaning Emi Buendia out. I'd rather sell Emi Buendia. So if that's the case, hold on to him in the summer and do it then. Because our squad depth's really key for me. And our changes on the bench have been, even where we've had these injuries and suspensions, Jacob Ramsey and Emi Buendia have been two key subs that we've needed. So, but yeah, Gary's not happy with Monchi and he wants him doing the business. I understand that. Look, Monchi, I think you've got to judge him over like 6 transfer windows. I always think someone should be judged over 6 transfer windows. Basically, 3 summers, 3 January ones. What business do they do? What are they? Are they long-term acquisitions, or are they transfers that basically flatter to deceive? I will say this. Our summer transfer window is shocking. I've been saying this for a while now. Our summer transfer window, losing Moussa Diame and Douglas Luiz was shocking. Shocking. Because Enzo Barrenechea, Samuel Illen Jr., Lewis Dobbin, all a waste of time. Looks like Philogene now has been a waste of time. And I will probably be a little bit unpopular saying this, but I think Onana is going to be proven to be not the player that we thought and want him to be. Because Onana does fist pumps, because Onana gets the whole end hyped up when we win, or the away end when we win, people love him. If you really, really, really watch Onana, he's not impacting the game anywhere near the levels of Yuri Tillemans or Kamara, and not having the same pool. And we paid 50 million for him. Not to say I'm writing off Onana. I'm just saying early observations are Onana has not been worth the 50 million price. Now, if Onana absolutely goes on and smashes it next season, season after, and becomes a massive, massive player for Aston Villa, then yeah, fair play. It's just been hard for him to settle in. But my early observations of Onana is I'm just a little bit looking at him going, I wanted a bit more from him. So there we go. But look, yeah, the summer transfer window from Monchi I think was poor. That's why I think this January one, he has to get those 2 key positions in, a right-sided defender and a winger. And remember, it doesn't have to be a right back, because when Villa are in possession, we go into a back 3. And therefore, in that back 3, we need a ball-playing centre-half. And that's where Ezri Konsa has been used as a right back out of possession and transitioned into the back 3. So, yeah, honestly, it's one of them which I'm sort of looking out for and hoping that we do the business in the right ways. But, yeah, as I said, we're going to be keeping these sort of transfer streams, transfer videos. And if people want me to do maybe a transfer upload and then a transfer stream each day, then I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to come back on tomorrow and do another live and continue to do these sort of half-an-hour chats that I sort of like doing, if that's what you want to see on this channel. Because, of course, all watch-alongs, as I said, are on bigger, apart from the Champions League ones. And that is where we're sort of going with this channel. A lot more of these talk streams, and even past the transfer season. Okay, we're going to just be doing a lot more. Let's talk about Villa streams. So yeah, big up to AVFC 85. I can't believe we drew the Spurs when all the dross was left in draw. Look, I just want to smash the Spurs at home. I do. Yeah, and I agree about Gertrude. We missed out on him. So look, what do we reckon? What do we reckon, chat? When do you think we will get our first signing in? I am convinced Tuesday. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to lock it down with chest. I think we get someone in before the Everton game, ready for Everton. And yes, big up to the Villa women who did win 9-0 today. I think we get our first signing in on January. On January? It is January. I think we get our first summer transfer. I can't even speak. I think we'll get our first January transfer this Tuesday before the Everton game. And we've got to go face Moyes' boys in there. And we'll probably do a little stream talking about Moyes' boys because it is a bit different. But yeah, chat, I do want to say, if you do enjoy my shows, and I'm really, really pleading, I need 14 more people. 14. It's not that many, is it? 14. All I'm asking for is 14 people to come and sign up to the Big Up. It's where we do all the watch-alongs. It will take you no more than a few minutes to sign up. And it's really, really worth it. And it helps me out massively because they've got a new feature. And on this feature, you cannot use it unless you have 250 community members. You need 250 community members. And they've got this new feature. So for me to use the new feature, I need you guys to come sign up and get me to 250. Really simple to do. It's amazing. It's basically like, Monday Night Football, where they get the clips of basically an incident. They're going to have live clips, incidents, and I'll be able to draw and analyze everything on that image on the screen. It is going to be unbelievable. It's basically going to be Monday Night Football vibes. So if you're a legend, if you want to put a smile on your face, if you want to do a good deed today, then go and sign up to this Big Up link. It's in the pinned comment as well. As many as you can, Meeks. As many as you can, buddy. But yeah, please go be a legend and do that. Because that will help massively. And of course, it is going to take the viewing experience to the next level. But what will be the biggest sign in this window for anyone in or out? Look, in terms of other clubs, I don't really pay attention to other clubs' transfer business. I even missed that Graham Potter became West Ham manager. I do concentrate on us. I do think for us, it is making sure we get those two key positions in, because if we carried on the rest of the season with no right back or no winger, then we'd be moronic. But yeah, we do need that Philogene to Ipswich deal. That has also been slowed down. Kieran McKenna came came and said a load of things. So there we go. But yeah, me consent. I'm off sick from work tomorrow, so I'll sit in bed making fake bigger. Exactly that. If you got email addresses, get them in, lock it in, and as I said, and if we can have people getting us over the line to 250 or 14 away, then you guys will be unbelievable. But yeah, Arsenal need a striker. And do let me know if you're in the chat and you have signed up to Big Up. Just let me know if you're in the chat and you're part of the Big Up clan. I know AVFC and Meeks is, so do let me know. But yeah, look, Arsenal, you can see today they need to go and splash the cash on an Isak, on a Gyökeres, on a bloody a goal scorer, someone who can put the ball in the back of net, just not John Duran. But they're nuts. But yeah, we are going to wrap this one up then in a second. And as I said, I really do appreciate everyone in here for all your support. I'll come live tomorrow if you fancy it, and we'll do another chat about that, and we'll try and get an upload in as well tomorrow, because I do like these. I do like these streams. I do like chatting and interacting with the chat. All things Tottenham, all things Donyell Malen, and of course the Mingueza twist as well. So you lot have been legends. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. Big up to everyone interacting, and I'm going to have one big plea again. I'm going to keep pleading until we get to 250. Smash the support on this link. Go on. Go and do a good deed today if you haven't. It will make my day. It honestly will make my day if you could do that. I don't ask for much. on this channel or in life. But if you could do that for me, that would be unbelievable. And it won't take too long. But yeah, big up to Paul. Big up to Gary, big up to AVFC, to James Meakin, the legend. Big up to Brumsy Beats and Box. Big up to Stephen Evans. Big up to everyone, Paul Welford, everyone who's been interacting in the chat. And of course, as well, big up to Gracie for our super chat and Goatser for being the member for 40 months. That's world class from you. Look, chat, have a good one. We'll see what news comes tomorrow. I'll be sure to report on it. Make sure your notification bell is turned on so you don't miss me going live, so you can get involved in the chat. And look, if the right price comes in for someone, of course, we'd always sell them. But let's go and buy. Let's go buy smart and get the right players over the line. I'm out of here. Big up, everyone. Go do that good deed for me. I'm out of here. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Rest up. Peace up. Ta.